Coin grading guy here, and back with another episode of Coin Show Pickups. And if you watched last week's episode, this is sort of a continuation from that episode. I was able to pick up, and I'll link that, try to link it up above if I remember to do that, and you can check that one out too as long as this one. But I was able to pick up two coins from the, by the time this airs, the coin show would have been 2 weeks ago, beginning part of September 25. I was able to pick up two coins to fill the Morgan Dollar album. It was refreshing to get to the show because a lot of the dealers had refreshed inventory, I guess, and it was nice because I obviously to fill my Morgan Dollar collection, I actually could have filled a lot more holes than the two that I did, but of course, limited by money, right? But I was able to fill two, so this is a continuation of that. This is an interesting coin, 99 Philly. It's a unique situation in so much as the 99 Philly had 330,000 Morgans minted, and that is pretty low. If you look at, I think it's in the top, if you will, top or bottom five, however you want to look at it, for lowest mintage numbers. Don't quote me, I don't know if that, but it's close to that. But the interesting thing about that is those numbers don't really correlate to the price of a coin like this in a mint state grade. And what I mean by that is apparently there were any number of these, and I don't know how many, hundreds of thousands, that were in bank bags that were released apparently in the 50s and 60s. So I guess as the story goes, this was an incredibly hard coin to find. If apparently, post World War II, if you had one of these, apparently it was one to have. And then, much to the chagrin of the people who probably had one after World War II in the 50s and 60s, they started finding these, I guess, these bags in the treasuries or the mints, and they released them. So the irony in the whole thing is that because of that, the finding them in mint state is relatively easy. Now, they do command a bit of a premium because of the low 330,000 number. So this wasn't, this wasn't a cheap coin for me to buy. Something unlike maybe a common date, mint state 64, which would be much for. So I did pay up a little bit or pay more for this. A little bit of the irony with the coin, though, is that finding circulated 99 Phillies is apparently a little harder. So that's kind of the irony in the whole thing, is that, nobody really wants a circulated coin, I guess. So finding one circulated, is kind of maybe a reverse, what do they call that? A conditional rarity in reverse, maybe, if that's one way to look at it. But anyway, I'm happy with this one. I was able to fill the hole in the album with a decent grade, and I like the way the coin looks. It's clearly original. It's got that kind of that champagne type toning, to the rims and stuff like that. It hasn't been cleaned. The only thing I think, this is, I don't really nitpick. Again, I'm a hobbyist when it comes to this, but I have after looking at, I've noticed that the fields in the cheek, there are, let me see if I can get the loop. They look really clean and, cleaner than a lot of I have some other 64s, and it looks a lot cleaner than some of those other ones. And when I say I don't have a lot, I have some, and it looks cleaner than some. And the only thing I can figure is right there above the ear. It's flat and sort of like a weak strike. So I'm guessing, again, I don't know, but this looks pretty good to me. The reverse, they always look good compared to the obverse, but, and the strike on the back actually is pretty good. I guess there's a scratch there in the chest feathers there of the eagle, but I just thought that was noteworthy. I thought this looked pretty clean. The cheek looks pretty clean. There's not a lot of chatter in the fields. But anyway, so I thought that was noteworthy. Maybe that's what held it back from a 65, but I don't know. I paid a 64 price for it, and to be honest with you, I've actually paid, the coins, the coins that are harder to get, I'm paying a little higher premium on. I paid a little more above what I thought I should pay for it, but I did it anyway because I guess that's the way it goes for me as the retail collector guy. But all right, that's it. If you like this kind of content, feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one.